Nikki, have you started studying for the psych test?
Yeah, bro, I don't understand any of it. I thought psychology was about the brain, not the senses.
I'm gonna fail this.
We need some help.
Sounds like you guys could use some help. Well, I'm a psychologist, so come with me. I'll show you.
I don't understand anything about the eye.
Well, I can probably explain the eye best if I show you from the inside. Hue is the dimension of color. Different wavelengths result in different colors. That's how we see the visual spectrum from red to indigo. Intensity is the amount of energy in a wave and is determined by amplitude. Another important characteristic of light is purity, or sometimes called saturation. Saturation is the ratio of dominant wavelength in relation to other wavelengths of the same color. By adding monochromatic light to dominant colors like red, green, and blue, it makes color less saturated. Our eyes process primary colors in pairs. Optical illusions trick our eyes by taking a recognizable photo but altering the picture by using the wrong color, but its complementary color pair is the correct color, so when you stare at it for long enough and then look away, the colors seem to change. Red is matched with green, blue with yellow, and black with white. This is called the opponent process theory. Light first enters through the cornea, and as this happens, the iris expands and contracts to open the pupil for light. The lens changes shape to focus light rays on the retina. The fovea is located in the center of the retina, and its purpose is to enable sharp central vision. This is known as foveal vision. Specialized cells called photoreceptors detect light stimulus and send it through the optic nerve up to the brain. If you have foveal vision problems, then you either have nearsightedness or farsightedness. Nearsightedness is when objects that are nearby appear clearer than others farther away. Farsightedness is the exact opposite. Objects farther away appear clearer than objects that are nearby. Next, I'll teach you all about your ears. Before I explain the hearing process, you need to understand frequency, pitch, and amplitude.
What does that word even mean?
And how are they related? Frequency is the rate at which vibration occurs in the form of waves over an extended period of time. The pitch is the perceived degree of highness or lowness in a tone. Pitch is often determined by frequency. The higher the frequency, the higher the pitch. Both frequency and pitch are determined by the amplitude of a sound wave. The amplitude is simply the amount of energy in a given sound wave. The greater the amplitude, the louder the sound, and usually the higher the pitch. The smaller the amplitude, the softer the sound, and the lower the pitch.
I understand the relationship, but I'm kind of confused about the hearing process.
Well, how about we go inside the ear so you can understand the hearing process? When sound is perceived, the sound waves are collected by the pinna and channeled by the auditory canal, where the sound waves hit the eardrum. The eardrum vibrates when struck by airwaves. 3 tiny bones, called the hammer, anvil, and stirrup, collect the eardrum's vibrations and are translated into auditory signals by the cochlea. From the cochlea, the auditory signals are sent to the brain via the auditory nerve and are interpreted by the brain. The middle ear consists of the hammer, anvil, and stirrup bones, as well as the eardrum. The cochlea and the auditory nerve are considered the inner ear.
What kind of hearing losses are there?
Conduction hearing loss is caused by damage to the mechanical system that conducts sound waves to the cochlea. This can happen if a person has allergies, fluid in the ear, or swimmer's ear. This kind of hearing loss is temporary. But sensorineural hearing loss, or nerve deafness, is caused by damage to the cochlea's receptor cells or to the auditory nerves. Nerve deafness can result to infection, noise exposure, or simply old age. Which other senses do you guys need help understanding?
Let's do taste and smell next.
I know the perfect place.
I hope you brought your appetite for learning.
I didn't.
Well, maybe you will after you see the fantastic food that's being served for lunch today. Our sense of smell is a chemical sense.
This means that when we smell something, chemicals enter the nasal cavity and stimulate the receptors in the olfactory bulb. From there, smell information is sent to the brain.
But what does smell have to do with memory? As you already know, the hippocampus is a brain structure that is associated with memory. But what you didn't know is that the olfactory bulb is connected to the limbic system, which is connected to the hippocampus. I'm starting to get hungry. Does anyone want anything to eat?
Not from the cafeteria. Their food's too salty.
There are 5 taste sensations, and each taste sensation has its own taste receptors.
Wait, I thought different taste buds were located in different parts of the tongue.
No, that's called the tongue map, and that's just a myth. Rather than having specific sections of the tongue, taste receptors are all over the tongue. Here, I'll show you.
The tasting process, called gustation, takes place when chemicals in food interact with taste cells inside the taste buds, called gustatory cells. They create neural impulses that are then transported by basal cells.
Why doesn't liquid medicine taste as bad when I hold my nose? Why does holding my nose have any effect on taste?
Our senses aren't completely disconnected from each other. Senses like taste and smell influence each other. When you hold your nose as you drink the medicine, the sensory interaction is reduced immensely and doesn't taste so strong.
Wow, we've learned so many about 4 senses. Now we only have 1 more left.
Actually, there are a few more left to cover.
What do you mean? There are 5 different senses: hearing, vision, smell, taste, and touch.
There's more to touch than meets the eye. Our sense of touch is divided into the 4 distinct skin senses that all interact with one another: pressure, warmth, cold, and pain. However, pressure is the only skin sense that has identifiable receptors. Warmth, cold, and pain are all variations of pressure.
Are those all the senses we need to know?
Actually, no, there's vestibular sense, kinesthetic sense, temperature, and time.
What is vestibular sense?
Vestibular sense monitors our body's balance through the head, while kinesthetic sense controls our body parts' movement and position. This is how we have control over our muscles and limbs while maintaining balance. The same goes for our head. Our sense of time is important, so we have an idea of how much time has passed by or how much time is left to complete a task. Our sense of temperature is important because it enables us to detect hot and cold substances that we touch or to recognize a dramatic change in our body temperature. Our sense of temperature can cause our pain senses to kick in.
How exactly does pain work?
Pain is our body's way of telling itself something is seriously wrong. However, pain is not always sensory. Our brains create pain and choose to send or block out signals.
What does that mean?
The gate control theory states that the spinal cord contains a neurological gate that either blocks out pain signals or allows them to pass depending on their size. So smaller brain fibers cause the gate to open, while larger pain fibers close the gate and block out the pain.
What other senses are there to learn?
I taught you all the senses you'll need to know for your psych test tomorrow. You'll do great.
Thank you so much. Now we're gonna get A's.
I'm glad we understand all the senses for our test. I don't know what we would have done without the psychologist.
Guys, I don't understand what this test is about. This doesn't make sense.
Welcome to psychology. What the?
Yeah! Nice enthusiasm, Kelly.
Wait. Relationship. It's okay. I'm.
No, bro.
More than times than this.
How to
Why don't you go inside the